I'm Dutch Lichliter. On Christmas Day, 2014, we had all the members of our family here at our home in Oakmont for Christmas dinner. I had asked each of them beforehand to sit before the camera and tell us just a little bit about what's going on in their life. Here's what they told us.
I'm Gabriel Enrique Pepper. I'm 15 and I'm at L&D High School, a sophomore. Really interested in chemistry right now and physics. Next year I want to take physics. I have a free 6 period, so I go surf after school a lot, which is good. And then I surf on the weekends.
What do you like about surfing, Gabe?
It's like it's a release. Like you spend all week at school and you're just focused on studying and everything, and then you get to go out to the beach and you're just like thrown into this environment where you have no control over anything, and you just get to see what happens and try and make the best of it. And I think a really fun thing about last year is going to Oahu for Christmas with you guys. That was probably the highlight of last year. Looking forward to getting my license.
Your driver's license?
My driver's license. I won't be able to drive everyone around. I'd have to have a parent in the car, but I can go out, and I think I want to get a job in Bodega Bay for the summer and drive out there and work and then surf, and that'd just be super.
My name is Miles Pepper, and I'm 19 years old. I graduated from L&D High School about a year and a half ago.
Right.
Just started working in Atlanta about 3 months ago, last September, and that was probably the greatest thing I've done so far in my life. I was working on a television show out in Atlanta as a production assistant, and then I got bumped up onto the camera department. It's a great opportunity. Working with the camera and stuff, so I've been learning a ton, meeting a lot of great people. I love it. It's been my hobby. It's creative. It's a little tech savvy as well. I can sort of be a little bit of a nerd with it, and also creative, and everyone thinks it's cool too. Next year, that's really big for me. Well, it's coming up in about 2 days. I'm going with Nolly to Thailand. Nolly is my girlfriend of over 3 years now. We're going to be in Thailand together for a month, and I have no idea what's going to happen, but it'll be great.
My name is Rick Pepper. I'm 51 years old. I am the managing partner of 11 Gear. I'm really focused right now on the development of a product that I invented and pulled out a patent for, and also have a trademark on, which is called the Crash Tag, which I have here. We're moving on production on this, and we've had some initial success with sales, and moving forward, my goal for 2015 is to turn this into a national brand. In 2014, I set out to do 10 pull-ups every day for a year, and I did that, and then so my goal for 2015 is to do 11. Even though I was a really lousy Boy Scout, one thing that stayed with me is, like, we always want to leave your campsite in a better state than when you started it. And so with regard to any development of any new product or going forward with any new initiative, I'd like to make the world a little bit better than than it was before I got here.
My name is Sharon Ann Lichliter Pepper, and I go by Sherry. I live in Sebastopol, California, and I have lived there for 15 years, which is the longest place I have ever lived. I work at my home. Because of the internet, I get to work for a team that's in Florida, Boston, and Atlanta. And I do a lot of writing, and I work for a company that puts people to work. In 2015, I'm really looking forward to connecting more with my husband, and we've worked a lot on our marriage. Marriage is not easy for any of those of you who think it is, and I'm hoping that 2015 will be a year that we find a place that we've been looking for a long time together. I feel blessed beyond words that I think I can adequately express about our family, my mother, whom I love dearly, and my father, whom I love dearly, and I feel that we are so blessed to be in the same town and that my children have been able to grow up near their grandparents, because that's not something I was able to do.
I'm Danny, I'm 23, and I live in San Francisco. I just moved about 6 months ago into an apartment in the city, and I'm walking distance from my job at a company called NerdWallet. It's a personal finance startup, so that means that we help people figure out like what is the best credit card, checking account, how to figure out a 401k, student loans, all of that stuff. And my role there is that I work on the education team, so that means that we help students with their personal finances. My dad, sister, and I went and hiked Half Dome together in Yosemite, and it was just a really special experience that we got to share together. We did about, I think it's a little over 17 miles round trip, but we made it, and we had so much fun, and it was definitely the best hike I've ever done. My boyfriend, who I met about 3 months ago, just moved back to Boston, and in January I'm gonna go with him to Austin, Texas, which I've never been there before, so that should be a lot of fun. And then I'm planned a trip to Boston, which is where he's from, in February. My life goal is that I'm hoping for every year that I am old, I'll have visited that many countries. And so right now I'm 23 and I've hit 23, so I'm hoping to continue that throughout the rest of my life.
I'm Shelby. I'm 25, soon to be 26, and I live in Seattle, Washington. I work at a company called Edelman. It's a big PR firm. It's actually the world's biggest PR firm. And I work in our technology department. I'm a senior account executive is my title. I work in a department where a bunch of technology companies hire us to manage all of their public relations. 2 days ago, I got back from a trip to New Zealand, and New Zealand is incredible. It's probably the most beautiful place I've ever been. I hiked, I biked, I kayaked, I cliff jumped, I waded through caves, did like a cave tour underground with glowworms in the ceiling. The cliff jumping was pretty crazy. I jumped off of a 360-foot cliff. I've been considering buying a apartment or condo or something. I don't know if that will happen next year, but I would like to save enough money next year that it could potentially happen the following years. I think one thing I've just realized lately is how much I appreciate like being independent and just having, you know, I really value work, and I value like knowing that you're capable of doing what you want to do and going where you want to go and working where you want to work. And sometimes it can be nerve-wracking, but it's important to just remember your independence, and like you can stand on your own 2 feet and you can do pretty much anything.
I'm Deborah Lichliter, and I am 55 years old. I live in Danville with Steve, that I think you just talked to, my husband. We have 2 daughters, Shelby and Danielle. I have just recently gotten a new job that I start in January, and I'm actually very excited about that. It is a job as a VP of Sales and Marketing for Vandale Development. Well, I would say my parents took very ill. That was kind of like one of the things that's rocked my world. My mom got ill mostly with her back and some other dementia type issues. She had back surgery and it seemed to cure her pain, and she's doing substantially better. My dad, on the other hand, was diagnosed with melanoma. It spread throughout his body. He just has probably a couple of months to live, and it's been really hard. Since I have not been working, it's afforded me the opportunity to spend a lot more time with them. I've been going down every couple of weeks, every 2 or 3 weeks, to be with them. So that's been kind of a blessing, and they really appreciate it.
So I'm Steve Lichliter. I work for a company called Carlson, Barbie & Gibson. It's a civil engineering firm. Been there about 1.5 years now, and probably the most interesting thing I'm doing there is we're redeveloping Candlestick Stadium and the whole parking area there. I think next year it's going to be an interesting event when they take the stadium down. Everybody's anxious to see what happens there and whether they're going to implode it or whether they're going to take it down piece by piece. That hasn't been decided yet.
So, Steve, is there something that happened last year that was really important or meaningful to you?
Yeah, a bunch of things. I think one of the most memorable is that in May, Deborah and I went with 5 other couples to Croatia, and we did a really wonderful trip, and just had a really neat experience. It was a different kind of experience where we stayed in a villa with a bunch of friends and spent a week there, and then spent sort of a hiking year. I had 2 great hiking trips. First with Shelby, I went up to Seattle to visit her, and we hiked a mountain called Mount Si together, and we just had a really neat, exhausting day. We have a big event coming up. Deb and I are going to have our 30th anniversary, and so I'm working on a big plan. I haven't quite figured it all out yet, but we're going to do something fun for that.
I'm Lois. Lois Lichliter. 3 L's. And the Lichliter is Mr. Dutch Lichliter. We met a long time ago. We are now married 58 years. And a lot of people, when we first got married, said they'll never make it. But we did. I am 81 years old. And that allows me to do a lot of things. The biggest thing in my life right now, unfortunately, is taking care of my health. I have some sort of crazy thing that's similar to Parkinson's. And so I fall a lot. Oh, I wish you had knew how I had fell into a closet. And the hangers all over me. It just was crazy. One of the big things that happened, not just to me, but to Dutch too, was going to Griselda's wedding in Mexico, in the middle of a vineyard. Very, very different, and the reception was outstanding. I really, really want to find a place where I can volunteer and feel like it's worthwhile and that I can learn. The other thing I want to do in 2015 is lose about 15 pounds. If I would do that, I would be so happy. Well, I would just take over. My grandchildren are exceptional, but I would tell them to continue to be honest. That makes your world so easy.
My name is Bianca Mata. I'm 31 years old, and I've been working here for Dutch and Lois for 6 years, I would say. And she loves to go to Ross, so we go to Ross. We have different places that she likes to go to, and we just have a lot of fun. In 2014, the big thing that happened in our family was that my sister got engaged in March 8th on her birthday, and she got married in September 13th. And we all went down to Mexico, to Ensenada, and she had a gorgeous big wedding. And yesterday it was Christmas Eve, and she announced that she is pregnant. So we're gonna have a new member in the family. My mom had, I believe, between 18 and 20 brothers and sisters. My dad also, he had like 16, 18, or 20 brothers. I really don't know. 2015, I really want my dad to sell his house and it's a little dangerous in Mexico. So when he retires, he wants to go back and live over there. I really don't want him to go back, so I just want him to stay here with me. So I am hoping that he can sell his house and he can stay here with us.
So now I guess it's my turn. Well, Lois and I have really enjoyed our 8 years living here in Oakmont Village. We keep quite busy. My hobby has been producing videos, and I've produced many of them for the community. Last year, probably the biggest thing that happened for me was that I turned 80 years old. Now that's a huge milestone in a person's life. For one thing, it means that the bulk of your life is behind you. Each passing day is one less that you have on your calendar. And so the important thing is to try to enjoy the day, keep a positive attitude, and try to do something constructive. And so if I have any advice to pass on to my grandchildren, it would be this. Do the best you can with what you have, where you are. I want to thank each of them for agreeing to do this little video. It's been fun, and I hope you find it rewarding.